What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. And today, I'm joined once again by my esteemed co host, my brother in arms, the pod father himself, my guy, Derek Myers. How's it going, brother?
All is well, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I mean, a little saddened, right? We're going to get into some pretty heavy stuff right on the top of the show.
Yeah.
But that's why we got to appreciate life, right? Life
Yes,
comes
sir.
with loss, and you got to remember, put it all in perspective, right? You don't know
Yeah.
when your time will come. But with all
Yeah.
that coming off, right off the top,
That was
uh,
that was nice.
Derek, why don't you let
Very
these
poetic.
people, why don't you let them know where they can find you on the interwebs?
Yes, sir. You can follow me at Derrick_OTS. That's Derrick, the black way to spell it.
Yes, sir. And you could catch me on all social media platforms, Negron MMA, as well as Chris Negron underscore on Instagram. But make sure you're following the brand at OTS Media Co. across all spaces, OTS Media on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed there as well. Hit the notification bell so you could get all of our great content straight to you. And it's been looking great, man. I've been having a great
Yeah.
time looking at the feed, right? Seeing how active it's been and all the different
Same.
things we got going on, and then knowing too, right, what's behind the
Yeah.
scenes and
Yes,
what's
sir.
brewing. We got a lot of exciting things to look forward to here at OTS, so make sure you're tuned in. But with all that being said, we already alluded to it a little bit. I wanted to talk to you all before we get into some NBA talk, a little bit about a man who unfortunately tragically passed away at the age of 83, Pete Rose, a legend in the MLB and a very controversial figure, right? So I thought, given that not a lot of people know of the full story, right? I might as well try to give you some context on Pete Rose and who he was, not just as a player, but his lifespan, right? His career and why he's such a controversial figure in the MLB. So first of all, just tragic that he passed away before we got to see any of these things rectified, any of the things I'm about to allude to. But to make a long story short, as a player, the most like you cannot argue against this, in my opinion. The most accomplished player in any sport to not be in the Hall of Fame,
Mm.
regardless of anything. I mean, I know specifically the MLB has a very weird past when it comes to the Hall of Fame and who they allow and who they keep out for what reason. Um, so there always has to be an asterisk, right? In cases like Pete Rose, cases like Barry Bonds, where they don't allow you into the Hall of Fame. His career as a player, right? The most hits of any player, and that record still stands to this day.
Yeah.
Um, Won multiple titles as well, and then obviously the scandal comes later on in his life as a manager, where no doubt, right, got caught red-handed betting on his own team, right, which is ideally um, what they're trying to prevent by preventing athletes from betting on sports. Period, right, tainting the
Mhm.
game in that way. But to keep somebody out of the Hall of Fame that quite literally has done things that have lasted the test of time, right? This isn't a new record that stands to be broken very quickly. I think his
Yeah.
hit record is going to stay for a very long time, right? Just considering what he was able to do, 4,000 plus. Um, it's crazy, right? And I obviously like you see both sides of the coin. I just feel like at this stage, the fact that we got to a place where unfortunately he is no longer here, and still they didn't budge on this stance. In my opinion, it'll be even more offensive now if they decide, okay, we gotta do right by him and have his family
Yeah.
there and all that stuff. Like it'll be just so fake. So I just feel like I have to say I feel like the MLB wronged him as a man throughout his
Yeah.
entire life. Like I get it, you need to be shamed, but at the end of the day, like he did the time for his crime, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason to try to erase him from history and what he accomplished. So I'm just worried, wondering as someone right looking on the outside into this kind of stuff, like sh- in the MLB's case, right? Theirs is separate, right? It's not like it's
Hmm.
a league like it would be with the UFC, right? But how do you feel
Right.
about having um this body that oversees the Hall of Fame that can make decisions like this, and like these hard stances. Like
Yeah.
how would you, if you could conjure up your own Hall of Fame, change those things?
I mean, well, I think part of it is that you have to set the criteria for what constitutes a Hall of Fame induction, right? And I don't know if that's the case with the MLB, but I do know that, like, with in regard to like the Basketball Hall of Fame, for example, that's one of those that gets kind of like, it's interesting because of the fact that it goes from college to pros, stuff like that, and you're able to cover vast majority of eras within the game. So I would think that having criteria put in place. I think this is what we discussed when it comes to awards in basketball or football. Anyway, having the criteria clear on what it is to be able to get inducted, I believe would make things a little more clear as to what it takes to get in. Because if someone has had a Hall of Fame career, to me, it would make sense to just put them in. But you also have to set the criteria. And I think that should be one of those things that comes from like the commissioner and maybe team owners come together and say, "Hey, this is the criteria for entering into the Hall of Fame." Um, I would like to see just in black and white what the outlines would be for such an honor, because there should be a standard for it. Not everybody should be able to get in, but when you've had a case for making it in, and it's clear that there's just an agenda against you, that's where you kind of lose me.
And I think ultimately the only stances we've seen them take similar to this would be PEDs, right? People like A
Hmm.
Rod, or it's almost just 100% sure that they're never going to make it to the Hall of Fame because of those infractions that they had. I
Hmm.
feel like although those are similar as far as being these infractions, I also feel
Hmm.
like in spirit is very different than Pete Rose's particular case, right? Which makes this such a
Right.
weird debate because there's no other real precedent here. It just to me seems real tasteless because at the end of the day, like I get it, right? You got to enforce these things,
Hmm.
but even in the cases of the people that were taking PEDs, like I'm sure there are a lot of people who were on PEDs that did not get caught, that were able to make their
Right.
way through, right? That are
Right.
in
Right.
these same halls. So it's like I don't know. It's just a weird kind, especially when you lean into the PED side. I'm crazy, right? When I'm
Yes.
radical with my
Yes.
PED
Yes.
beliefs. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
man. I just feel like with this whole Pete Rose situation, it really sucks that he passed away. But I will say that the fact that he lived a very full life, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure was able to, don't get me wrong, he made a ton of money, right? And what he did,
Mhm.
so he was not living
Yeah.
a hard life.
Yeah.
But shout out to Pete Rose, and hopefully in the future, man, things like this can be figured out in a way that's diplomatic to everyone. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, um, he's never looked at as the great player that he was. He's always looked at as this person that had this controversy. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that's the part I was trying to shine a little bit of light on today.
Yes,
But
sir.
from sadness in the MLB field to sadness on the basketball court, we lost another legend literally on the same day.
Mm.
Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at the very young age of 58. In particular, his case was a battle with brain cancer, a battle that he fought, from my knowledge, right, in silence. Right, this came
Yeah.
very suddenly to everyone, and just devastating stuff all ways around, no matter how you look at it, especially when um you have a similar situation play out on the same day with Pete Rose. You're looking at it like,
Yeah.
man, it's a completely different situation and way to pass on. So I'm sure he once again is at peace now. That's all that matters. But ultimately, just a tragic situation, and my best obviously goes out to his family. I wanted to ask you, what are I feel like you've experienced this a lot more than I might have, right? Not
Mm.
trying to call out your age a little bit, brother, but could you give me some of your favorite Dikembe Mutombo moments?
Man, you know what? I think one the I want to say the time where Michael Jordan dunked on him, and I know that that's not the best one in terms of like showing his prowess, but it's just like in terms of competition. I like when two greats, go against each other, and it's like you're not going to be able to do this, and it's done, right? And I like seeing those type of stories. Dikembe's like defensive prowess and everything like that, the way he played, it was just amazing, and then above that, just his humanity in general, like everything he did for raising money for hospitals, and everything he did for people in his country and stuff like that. It's good to see people being able to give back, especially when you're talking about a place that definitely needs help. um it's good to see that. The thing that sucks, again, like you said, is that he was very young. 58 is very young. So I'll be honest. When that came across, when I saw that, like I had to do a double take, and I'm in a meeting, bro. Like I'm in a work meeting. I saw that. I had to pause everything I was doing. There is no way you're talking about Dikembe Mutombo. Yep. So thoughts and prayers go out, with his family, because that there's no way you can actually you can't replace that type of spirit, right? That's a big spirit that leaves a void. And people like that when they pass, it's just you can't fill it. You feel that void there, so thoughts and prayers go out to his family for sure.
Yeah, and he was a big staple for the NBA too, right? Constantly at
Yeah.
events, constantly
Yeah.
involved with commercials and promotions and all these different
Hmm.
things. So I agree, man. Definitely super sudden and really sucks to see it this way. But I gotta say, um, a lot of people know him for his game on the court, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this man was storied for his game off the court too, right? Did you
Yeah.
hear?
Yeah.
This famous "Who's gonna sex Matumbo tonight, baby"? I wonder if that's gonna work for a guy like you or I, right? If we just show up in the club, like, who's gonna sex me tonight? I don't know if it's gonna work out as well
It
for some
wouldn't
people.
work. Bro, I'm telling you right now, in Atlanta, you do that here in Atlanta. Oh, there's no, actually, New York or Atlanta. It'll be
We're in some
wild.
rough spots, right? I don't know. Maybe if we're in like Gary, Indiana, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go out to Colorado or something like that. Utah, maybe, where
yeah,
there's a big Mormon population. Maybe you get some work out there. I don't know.
yeah. The true freaks are those repressed.
Yeah.
Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. But
Yes. Yes.
we're getting back on track, ladies and gentlemen. Rest in peace to Kembe, and you will never be
Yes, sir.
forgotten. Right? The no, no, no. That's gonna be going on for a
Yeah.
very long time. I don't think that's gonna
Hold
be
on.
going anywhere.
Over under on who you think is going to be the first big man to do that this season.
I like that. Ooh, if we just picking one,
Just picking one.
I think this also means they would have to get a block early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me
Mm-hmm.
Wemby. Give me Wemby.
Wimby. Ooh, you know who I'm going with? I'm going with
Lock him up.
Embiid, bro.
Whoever it is, lock him up.
Yeah. I'm going with Embiid. I think Embiid will be the first big to do it
I love it. I
this
love
season.
it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Next up, uh, it's happy news, right? We're moving on. We gotta
Yes.
we gotta take a breather here, but
Yes,
also a
sir.
little bit on the sad side as well. Derrick Rose. I was gonna say Derrick knows. We know that Derrick knows of all things Derrick Rose. So it's only right that we talk about his retirement. This one was crazy to me too, right? This confirmed
Yeah.
to me that I am old as shit, right? Because this is
Mm.
this is for me, right? I don't know. I'm sure this may have happened already to many other of our folks at home, but this is the first player that I realized, like, oh shit, like I've been here through all of this. Like, oh,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
year of these 16, I knew about this. So I'm like, damn,
right.
I'm an old fuck. But Derrick Rose finally retired after a very successful career, all things considered.
Yeah.
Um, and it's only right that we had some Hall of Fame talk earlier that we sort of double back on this now with D Rose. So
Yes.
Derrick, obviously, I'm sure we both are going to have some really happy things to share in memory of Derrick Rose's career. I'll let you go first in that direction. Is there any
Oh
moments that
man.
sort of stick out to you as far as watching his career unfold and just being a fan that like had you like, holy shit, this guy is different? Because I got a couple of those.
Yeah, man. I think one of the I forgot what game it was, but seeing how I forgot. God, I wish I remember which game it was. He caught he got a steal and was going. He was all the way by himself and dunked the ball. But the way he dunked was like he did like these insane dunks in game, right? And I think this one game he did like three of them, but there was this one particular one where he got the ball and he's just running by himself in transition and then took the ball and kind of like went down and did this crazy dunk. That was one of my favorite ones. I think God, I forgot which 2K it was, man. The 2K with him on the cover, and I think it was him with Kevin Durant
It was
on
like
it
all
as well.
covers, right? Hmm.
Yeah, it was one of the best 2Ks too. That one was when ironically I ended up playing with the Bulls um in franchise mode. And yeah, man, that was fun. I think that was the first I in that game, actually that was Jimmy Butler was on the team, obviously. And that team was crazy. Yeah, Jimmy Butler, you had Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah. Um, that was a crazy team. And I
The
think
shoe
that was
polish man himself, Carlos
yeah,
Boozer.
Carlos Boozer, yeah. That was a crazy team. I remember getting D Rose out on the perimeter and Butler out on the perimeter shooting crazy in that game. I want to say that was 2K11.
I think it
If I'm
was
not mistaken.
13,
13?
2K13, yeah.
That
And like you
was a
said, one of the best ones,
fun
one of the
game.
last ones I
Yeah.
played. Like I think the last one I
Really?
played, like I consider it actually played. Like I bought a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
the more recent ones, but like to
Yeah.
actually play
Sit down,
multiple,
yeah.
like yeah, I
Yeah.
I haven't really gone hard like that since 2K15. So that was an era for
Wow.
sure. That
Yeah,
was an era.
that was my and that was one of the best soundtracks on a 2K game as well. Like, gotta go back and listen to that. That was great. But nah, Derrick Rose, man, he's just amazing player. Obviously coming back from injury. I think I went to a Hawks Bulls game that he played the year he got injured. It was like I think right before the playoffs started or something like that. It was just I actually got to see Rose in person, which was crazy. But yeah, man, like I do feel old as hell. You see everybody that you grew up watching, and they're like they either retire or move on to another league, or even unfortunately pass away. It's just it comes at you full circle where you're like, oh man, I'm actually starting to get up there a little bit. So
Yeah.
no, it's interesting though. It is very interesting.
You don't
We're
know
all gonna
how
be like that
happy.
when LeBron retires.
Oh my goodness. And yeah, he's got a lot in the tank, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't forget it. He's got a lot left. So who knows how long we're going to wait for that moment. I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't steal mine though, because mine is opening night in 2011 against Kobe Bryant himself.
Oh
Man, I remember
yeah.
that day I was posted, right? I had nothing else on the agenda besides
Yeah.
watching those opening day games. And you know how they
Mhm.
space them out, right? So there's never
Yeah.
the NFL issue where you got all these things happening at once.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you get the full experience. And I remember just watching that whole game and just being impressed multiple times. The floaters, right? The
Hmm.
ability to slash in the lane, and then the finesse too, right? Like in order to
Yeah.
be that, to have that gear, right? There's a lot of undercompensation, right? It's not
Hmm.
overcompensation. You got to have a lot of touch in order to really make that power work. And it was
Yeah.
always a pleasure to watch him do his thing, and then being able to hit that game winner over Kobe Bryant, over the goddamn
Yeah.
whole Lakers
Yeah.
team, right? They're jumping
Yeah.
at him, trying to get,
Yeah.
trying to block the shot. And then just a picturesque moment, right? You look back at that, and it really is an entirely different era than today's NBA, right? You look at the
Yeah.
final score, I think it was something like 80-80. It's like
Yeah.
just something you will never see in the
Yeah.
NBA today. Just an
Yeah.
entirely different league, and that was only fucking 10 years ago, a little over 10.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and then obviously seeing him develop later in his career too, right? Being someone that was
Yeah.
gifted so much athletically, and that potential, right, is always what everyone looked at. But the reality of his career that is super impressive is his ability to obviously persevere through all these
Mm.
different injuries that plagued him throughout his career, but also
Yeah.
to recreate himself, right? And to be a step back from who he was, but still be great as a player, like
Hmm.
to overcome all you had to come overcome mentally, but then to also not be the same person you once was, and
Yeah.
through your love of the game, right, still find a way to be a contributing player. Like I think that is
Yeah.
so dope, and really speaks to, once again, his love of the game and what he was
Yeah.
willing to give to basketball. So gotta have nothing but admiration for someone like D Rose, but it's only right we ask the critical questions here. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, Derek?
Yeah. I would say yes. I mean, only because you're talking about like the youngest MVP ever, and he changed the way that I think anytime someone comes into the game and they alter the game, like they're changing it, whether it's on court or off court. If you're able to affect the game in a monumental way, I think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So he's the one that which I didn't realize until he retired. He's the one that he's the reason why players are able to get extensions on their contract when they're in their rookie year, because he gets that MVP, and he didn't get paid like it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why guys are able to get that kind of contract now, or extension, and it's like, nah, that's monumental. That's monumental. I think that deserves to be in there. Now we can have an argument whether you want to say first ballot or not. Like that could be a debate, but does he deserve to be in there? Yes, most definitely, he deserves to be there.
I agree with you too, man. You had to be there. And culturally,
Yeah.
like you said too, his impact, I don't think is going to go away, because it's still
Right.
very much so like a thing to talk about Prime D Rose, right? And like
Yeah.
what we missed
Yeah.
out on uh with
God.
those injuries and what could have been. Cause honestly, like people say Westbrook and John Morant, they're both special athletes in their own right too. But I
Hmm.
think there was nothing like D Rose. Like I
At all.
legitimately believe that. Like there, it
At
was a
all.
different level of bounce and control,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about, right? And the fact that
Yeah.
he just a fucking vet of all vets, right? Out here, what did he have, like a 50-point game later in his career too?
Yeah, in
Like,
Minnesota. Yep.
yeah, the dude is a
Yep.
dog, man. So shout out to D Rose. Love to give him some flowers on the show,
Yes,
ladies
sir.
and
And he
gentlemen.
spells it the right way.
Right? Yeah, like as you should, as you
Yeah.
fucking should.
Yeah.
But it's only right we talk about that Wolves team, right?
Oh man.
Everything just
Man, you are
fucking.
you are on it today.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. We've got a trade, ladies and gentlemen, but that's about to shake up the league. Knicks fans, good luck getting tickets, baby, because they already went
Mm.
up. The price of the
Yeah, yeah.
brick went up, ladies and gentlemen, just by this trade. The T Wolves are acquiring from the New York Knickerbockers Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Keita Bates Diop, shout out, and a future first from Detroit for Karl-Anthony Towns. So, Derek, I got to ask you, After all that, was it worth it?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know. And let me ask you this: do you think they do this trade if Hartenstein stayed? Because I think that was one of the biggest reasons why they did this trade.
That's a great point. I never even pondered that. Shout out the bright skinned legend himself,
Man.
Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah, no, I don't think so. That's a
I
great
don't think they
point. I
do
never I
either.
never
I don't
thought
think they do
about that.
either. Because that and I mean, I think DiVincenzo leaves because you got Mikal Bridges, and I don't see him cracking that rotation. At least not with enough playing time with Mikal ahead of him.
Not with Tibbs either.
Not with Tibbs, nah. But that was the move that kind of made me question like what. I think this is almost it almost feels, and you tell me if I'm wrong. It almost feels like this is like a lateral move. I don't know that this was unless there's something else happening. I don't know that this is like that great of a trade. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. But and I don't think they hurt themselves in the trade. But I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit right with me in terms of like thinking about it and saying, "Oh yeah, that was an amazing move by the Knicks." I don't think it was an amazing move. Like I think Towns is a really good player. Um, he didn't show up in the playoffs this last season, bro. And that's one of the things where you kind of look at it and you're like, is that worth that type of move? The thing that I felt bad for him for with this move is that the Timberwolves, it doesn't seem like they let him know that this is a possibility. And then apparently they've been talking about this all summer long. So, you know, he was obviously blindsided with it, which really sucks. But I hope that he's able to find a home in New York. I don't know, man. You know what? Part of it that bothers me though is it almost feels like that we're at the day and age where you will never see a player retire with the team that drafted them. I think a handful will, but for the most part, because I think Tatum will. I think Brown will. I think Joel Embiid will. Um, Guys like that. But for the most part, I feel like we're at a time where it's going to be a rare thing where a guy actually gets a guy retires playing for the same team his entire career.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I would love to have seen Rose in Chicago for his entire career. That's the one thing that sucks about his story. Um, but I don't know. This I'm telling you what, I'm not afraid of it. Like as a Celtics fan, I'm not afraid of this move. It's hey, let's go. It's cool. It's cool. We paid played them opening night, so that's where that's one that I'm really excited about. Is like yeah, that's ring ceremony, and we get to beat the Knicks.
He's talking
you
his shit
know,
early.
yeah, yeah. But I think they're good because I want to see how Bridges comes into fold and you know how Cat comes in and like what their chemistry is like. I have to see it. I'm not saying it's a bad move, but I feel like it's closer to a lateral move than like an explosion at like oh yeah this is gonna be that team. Like someone came out earlier this week and was saying that this is the best starting five in the league.
It is a new starting five.
It's a new starting five, the best one though. Like come
Yeah,
on, bro,
we don't
come
have
on now.
top players at their position.
Co-
It's not one of
Thank you.
them.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. And I apologize, Jonathan, if you're listening to this. I
I ain't
apologize, bro.
apologizing to nobody, but I I like the move for both teams. I feel like this is clearly a W for the Timberwolves, in my opinion. I think even if Julius Randle doesn't turn out to be as much as a contributor as Cat was in that role,
Hmm.
I think they're fine, right? Because you're getting a fucking Detroit pick, which is going to be a great
Hmm.
pick, and you're
Hmm.
also getting back Dante. So that's even
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
depth, much needed depth. What I liked about this Knicks team before this move was the depth that they had. I thought that it,
Yes.
it put Tibbs in a kind of forced Tibbs to change his ways a little bit here. I
Yeah.
didn't like this move for that. I think that reason kind of makes me side eye this a little bit. I think after shout out to my guy Damian Adams, right, on his show. He was like
Mm.
that this Knicks roster now that they're like that guy that's only hitting arms, right? Like they got no legs. They don't hit leg
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just think
yeah,
that bench looks shitty now. And that's
yeah.
why I said maybe there is some more moves to come because this move also kind of made me feel old in a different way. This move
Yeah.
solidified to me that the league has changed, right?
Yeah.
We could not have a starting five like this. What was it, 6 years ago? Right? You couldn't play
Hmm.
a power forward as center and
Yeah, yeah,
act
yeah.
like no, he's a five.
Yeah.
He's a five.
Yeah.
No, you would have
Yeah.
gotten destroyed. So
Yeah.
it is a different league. That is confirmed.
Yes.
But I think that's going to be the problem longevity wise, whether or not they're going to be able to defend anyone. I think offensively is going to
Yeah.
look good. That
Yeah, yeah,
makes it
yeah,
a
yeah.
New York Knicks kind of move, right? You got to have the flashy lights, and then
Yep.
are you gonna contend for it? Time will tell. But honestly, I think the T Wolves kind of made out like bandits here.
They did. They did. And I find it interesting they chose Gobert over Towns. That's
Mhm.
that's what intrigues me about it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this season for both teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you made a great point. The depth of this team was really good last year. I mean, like even when Randall went down, they were still killing it in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it felt like they didn't miss a beat
Mhm.
during that run. Um, so yeah, I'm intrigued to see what that looks like now because if you don't have as much depth, I did see today that the Bulls were considering trading Levine. So I don't know if that's a move they would make, but that almost feels like a Lakers move for some reason. I don't really know why, but I could see something like that happen. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I think their depth was a great calling card for them last year. So I want to see how that goes this year, for sure.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. But man, it's getting closer than we think here, right? It's getting close.
Oh, that's a few
NBA
weeks.
season, yeah, it's almost here.
Just a
But
few weeks.
it's only right that we pivot after all of this into the bulk of why we're here, guys. Damn it. We've got week 5 in the NFL. And of course, it's only right that we recap what was week 4 in our head to head battle. So I finished out the week 8-8, while you finished out the week 6-10. So it's a seesaw over here, baby. I
Yeah,
have reclaimed the
yeah.
lead only by 1 point. The next week you will probably have it back, but I'm sitting at 30-34, while you are sitting at 29-35. We're inching our way back to 500, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Hey,
only right. We're gonna get there. These dogs have been
yeah,
barking. What do you want us to
bro.
do?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. This the first 4 weeks of this season has been crazy with
Hmm.
these picks. It's been crazy. It seems like it's been crazy in terms of making picks, but it's also been crazy in terms of fantasy.
Hmm.
It's just why it's been a very weird 4 weeks. So hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming everything will definitely turn around.
Yep. Speaking of, I just finished a trade in one of my dynasty leagues. So I got to ask your opinion.
Ooh, yeah.
So I got back Christian McCaffrey as well as Jordan Mason, right? So I got back the handcuff and Christian McCaffrey. At one
Okay.
point, I got to state this as well because this is important context, right?
Yeah.
I once had CMC in this league, and traded it to this person. They
Uh-huh.
went and won the league, the next league, and now I'm buying them back. So I gotta be admitting of this. But
Yeah.
I traded him Jaden Reed and Nick Chubb for CMC and Jordan Mason. And I gotta ask you, Derek, does it make sense? Does this trade
No.
make sense? Did I do a bad
No.
job?
No. I'm trying to figure out why they did the move. What was their reason? Because that sounds like a horrible trade, bro.
He is a Packers fan. He is a Packers fan.
Okay. See, you can't trade with your heart, bro. You gotta trade with intellect. You gotta trade with forethought into it, right? Like
Yep.
it can't. That's
And bro, this is
oh,
my home league, right? So these are all my cousins. And they're like, yo, he got the infinite trade glitch. Like he traded him and now he just dumps him back off. And now he gets Jaden Reed. And I'm like, hey, what y'all motherfuckers aren't acknowledging though is I got this motherfucker's number one pick. And he's 1-3
yeah.
right now. And I just took
Oh,
one of his most productive players in Jordan Mason. And then obviously
yeah.
eventually is gonna be CMC. So I like this move from
That's a
all
crazy
angles,
move.
ladies and
That's a
gentlemen. So I'm
crazy
hoping
move
it
right there.
pays off later on in the season.
Yeah.
But fantasy wise, though, when I first cooked it up, I'm like, man, on paper, I could see why some people will be like, hey, he robbed you, especially with the context, right? Especially with the context. But all things considered and the position I'm in, right? You got to play the position you're in Dynasty. And I
Yeah.
have his pick. I don't have mine, right? I got to try to go in and I got to try to
Get a pick.
perform despite all the injuries that devastated my roster. But
Yeah.
enough of Commissioner Chris, God damn it. Let's get into our week 5 picks, selections, and breakdowns. Of course, we have Thursday night football leading the charge with the Bucks on the road, right in your back door, Derek. Against the
Pause.
Falcons. No, oh my
Yeah.
God. Thursday night football. Who you got, Derek? Because I know you love them Tampa Bay Bucks.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know. And the Bucks are starting to piss me off, bro. But you know what? It's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. It's just because we're not showing up. We're not doing our job. Actually, the head coach ain't doing his job. But that's another story for another day. I think this is in Atlanta, right? I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this one. I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I think because actually in our predictions last week, the reason why I didn't choose the Bucks to go against the Eagles was because I thought Vita was out. I thought he was not playing. So I saw an opportunity for the run game to be amazing. So that was the main reason why I chose the Eagles last week. Um, but he's playing this week and he looked amazing last week. So I can't see that being different in this game. And honestly, I don't. The Eagles. I mean, the Falcons didn't score an offensive touchdown in the last game, correct? You're muted, bro.
So sorry. I
You
think
get
that
it.
is right though. I
Yeah,
think they had some field goals though.
yeah, field goals. But yeah, you're not doing that against the Bucks. You're not gonna be able to not score offensively and win the game. So give me the Buccaneers in this game. I think they go on the road and they take it.
The Bucks are such a strange team to evaluate, right? Because I'm
Yeah,
obviously high on them. They're cooking. They're beating 3 playoff potential teams, and then they just get
yeah,
fucking dog walked by the Broncos. So I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
which direction to go with this team. This is a weird game. I think this is definitely a trap game for the Bucks. I just don't trust Atlanta. Like I do
Hmm.
not. I'm sorry. I know we're trying to change the culture here, but I still don't see what y'all are cooking most of the time. Like shout out to Young Hui Koo. He's leading the pack in all ways.
Hmm.
I said that as well as I could, right? Right?
No, you did. You
Is
said it
that
the
a
right way. No, you
yeah,
said it the
yeah,
right
yeah.
way. I'm sorry. So flashback. Shannon Sharp was talking to Deion Sanders and Ocho, I think sometime this week, and he kept saying young Ho.
Hey, this Young Ho cool, right?
It's
This Young
it's
Ho
young
real
way.
cool.
No. It was just that whole thing, that whole interaction was hilarious. So my bad. That was
No,
just where my mind went.
you're good, bro. Yeah, I think the honestly the Falcons make it tough for me because I really want to like them. Like I like all their
Yeah,
composite pieces.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
when you watch the way it all gels together, it doesn't look like something's right. Like honestly,
yeah,
I can't wait till next year, right, when the Michael Penix discussion is actually real. Because I
yeah,
just want to see another quarterback with this team. Like I feel like this team can be good. And there's no
yeah,
shade to Kirko. I like Kirko, right? Shout out to Kirko Chains. But
yeah.
I just think he's not healthy. And
He's
that's a
not.
big problem,
Yeah, he's not. But I also think that Kyle Pitts, he got to go, bro.
bro.
Like you need another tight end that can actually play. He's not showing up, bro. Like he on paper he looks great,
Coming out
but
the bus, yeah.
yeah, like game day. I need you to show up. Like when the clock starts on the game, are you actually showing up? You're not. You're
Mhm.
not. You put the uniform on, you literally get on the field, but you ain't there, bro.
Yeah.
Like you ain't there. I don't know. So I think I agree. They need a switch at QB, but they also need a switch at tight end, bro. Like that's gonna help with a lot of the blocking. But I know also a couple of their offensive linemen went down, so I have to attribute a lot of their issues over the last 2 weeks to that. So
Mhm. Well, we move on, both going with the Bucks to London,
yes, sir.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
believe that there is a London game that does not include the London Jaguars? Do you believe that, brother? Because I was
No, I don't.
shocked,
I
stunned, and
didn't realize
appalled.
that.
We have
Nah,
built a
that's
fan
crazy.
base. We have built a
Yeah.
fan base in London. All right, there's blonde wigs everywhere, and you
Yes.
dare not to bring the home team back. Damn, I
Yeah.
this is 2 weeks in a row now. I think I might kill Derek by the end of this
Yeah.
show. Right by the end of this season, uh, Derek might have an aneurysm on the show. Please, I hope not. Prayerfully not.
Not at all.
We just got my boy all kinds of choking. No Diddy, but we move on to our London game. We've got the Jets and the Vikings doing the damn thing at 9:30 in the morning. How do you feel
Yeah.
about 9:30 football?
I've never watched it. Like
No.
I'm not getting up to bro, I'm tell you right now. Like if it was a game that was worth getting up to watch at 9:30, I'm all on. I'm all hands on. I'm watching the game.
Aaron Rodgers,
I'm not, I don't care about Aaron Rodgers, bro. I legitimately do not care about Aaron Rodgers, and it might be premature to say that, but I really don't care about him. So the only reason why I might watch this is because I do want to see if Sam Darnold's streak as a really good quarterback continues. Like I want to see if this is a thing. I'm still not sure if I'm buying in or not. Like I saw he was available in my fantasy one of my leagues this week, and I'm hesitating, bro. I'm like I feel like it's just going to come crashing down at some point,
I feel
and
the same way, but I
I'm
picked him up.
trying.
I did it.
Yeah, you
Do
did.
it.
I mean, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm getting up to watch this one though. I'll tell you that.
You know what was the funniest part? I'm sure you'll remember this too. Every time we talked about all the different moves in the offseason, whenever it came to Jones, I'm like, I don't really like this move for him because
Yeah.
he's not on contender. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Chris. You know nothing. You know nothing.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Didn't
Yeah.
expect this storyline, and the best part about it is they got the number one defense in the league, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just the
Yeah.
offense;
Yeah.
it's what they're able to do defensively, disguising things. Shout out Brian Flores, uh, doing the damn thing right. I've seen so many different clips now of their coverages and the way it seems like it's something, and then they're dropping back and into zones
Yeah.
after playing man at the line and all kinds of
Yeah.
things to just wreck young quarterbacks' brains. That's what makes this matchup a little fascinating here.
Yeah.
I like this matchup a lot for the Jets. I think being able to put pressure on once again, Mr. Darnold himself. This
Mhm.
is this a fucking get back game? Right? Is this a get back game? No,
Hmm,
I could have
I
swore
mean,
not a cup of coffee, right?
yeah. Look, I mean, you also you do have the one thing that's interesting with this too is that Aaron Jones is going against his old team, so that's the storyline with it. But I don't know who you choosing, bro, because
I'm
this is one of
going.
those tough ones.
I'm going with. I'm going with the fucking Vikings, and it's just because of how shitty the Jets looked last week. Like that. That's
Yeah,
the only reason. I
yeah,
honestly feel like this matchup does favor them in a lot of ways, especially because they could change the tempo of this game if they
hmm,
actually do what they are capable of when it comes to the run game. But
yeah,
as a Ravens fan, I know sometimes those things don't work out. And for whatever reason, they're not sticking to the run the way you should when you got two stud backs like Braylon Allen and Brees Hall. But yeah, I'm
yeah,
going with the Vikings, man. They just seem inevitable right now, right? Like
yeah,
every game they're rising to the occasion in a way we don't expect. The Texans game really sold me because I think the
yeah,
Texans have
yeah,
shown that they're doing big things over there too. So yeah, give me the Vikings, man.
yeah, yeah. Give me the Vikings as well. I think defensively they're going to be amazing as well. So I'm intrigued to see how this game goes, but give me the Vikings.
Have you ever heard of people doing the Viking row at concerts? Is this a phenomena you have experienced?
The what?
It's called the Viking row, and it's where a bunch
Mm.
of white people um, create. Well, they simulate a kayak, and they simultaneously row this boat. And it is and obviously, I mean, the only reason I know about this is because of I heard a friend talking about them going to a rock show and this happening. Um, this is a whitetivity, right? This would not happen
Yes.
at the concerts that maybe you or I might go to.
No, no,
But
no, no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah, you can't
no.
participate in the Viking row. Just saying, if you see it happening live and you're running in there, you got to be of a certain skin tone, brother. And we'll leave it at that. Next up, we've got the Panthers on the road against. Am I seeing this correctly? The most prolific bad teams in the get back games against the worst trade of the century. We got the Panthers against the Bears, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fun one, Derek, because we
Yes.
both know who we're picking. So why don't you just tell the people, Derek, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. I'm gonna go with them.
You
I
shocked me.
shouldn't. I
Wow.
shouldn't. I shouldn't because I think the Bears figured something out. Um, I'm gonna give them one more opportunity. I'm gonna choose the Panthers one more time.
Hmm.
That bit me so hard last week, bro. But I'm gonna choose them one more time. If this is if they don't win this one, I will never choose the Panthers again this season.
It's
I'm
weird
not
because the
doing it.
times we write them off is when they show up looking the best.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And then once you choose them, now they don't really do as well,
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one. I'm gonna go
Okay.
with them.
I'm very shocked by that. I will admit I'm not happy picking the Bears either. Right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
this
this
can
is
go bad in a lot of different ways.
yeah,
But I like what I'm seeing. At least from getting the run game started. Right. We got to get the
yes,
run game started. Once we figure that out, then maybe Caleb Williams gets a little bit more help. But everyone hates on the man. Hey, just ask him if he got any protection, bro. Because I promise you, he does not. That line is shaky as hell, and that's a
yeah,
big part of
yeah.
all his struggles. But nobody's gonna give the man grace, right? You paint your nails, right? Why the fuck
No,
would? That's the most ridiculous shit to me. Like, I'm gonna be real. I get the whole this younger generation is different, right? Once again, another
yeah.
staple of us getting old as shit in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. But to really hate on people just because their generation is fine with different things than you are, to me is so
Yeah.
fucking dumb. Like, at the end of the day, we could talk for what it is. Yes, the man is underperforming. But let's talk
Yeah.
about why that is, right? It's not like he's just out there fucking Will Levison up out there, because we saw how good Mason Rudolph looked once he went in there too. So
Yeah.
I don't think another QB or a backup QB would look better than Caleb Williams has. And that says a
No,
lot about how bad that fucking line is. So, God, why am I
the
fucking picking him?
bro, the line is bad and the coaching is horrible.
Yep. And that's been the curse for years, right?
Yeah, like the coaching is trash, bro. There, like you should know you're not gonna really get a great coach with a name like Eberflus.
Wow. That's insightful shit right there. Yeah.
Like that doesn't
You
sound
should
like a
have saw it
coaching
coming.
name. Yeah, that does not sound like a coach name, bro. So yeah, I'm yeah. Chicago needs to get it together though. They do.
So, if you had to pick a profession here, right? I go
Hmm.
alliteration wise. Give me the ear doctor, Eberflus. Right? What do you
Bro, I'm
got?
gonna go. I'm gonna
I'm sure that's
go.
not even the name. The technical name is probably a different fucking letter.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with a literary professor.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
yeah.
Yeah, look.
Doctor Eberflus.
Yeah, he's known to bloviate.
Either way.
Next up,
Yeah.
we've got the Browns on the road against everyone's favorite team, the Washington Commanders. Obviously, it's only right to give praise where praise is due, and Jaden Daniels has been looking like the next coming of all your favorite quarterbacks you've ever watched. This guy's looking amazing out there. The
Yeah,
fact that, and once again, this is insane to say, but the man has less incompletions than drives that didn't turn into points. Can you believe that?
that's wild.
This man is cooking, right? This is a team that
That's
basically hasn't
wild.
punted in 3 weeks, just out
Yeah.
there putting points on the board, 40 on your head, and
Yes.
against a team that's fucking struggling right now. In the
Hmm.
Bears, just fumbled the game to the Las Vegas Raiders. But hey, I'm no stranger to that reality, right? I can't talk too much
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that was a
Yeah.
bad game, bro. Especially being
Yes.
up 10 early, and then
Yes.
being up in the late game as well. Just had to find a way to close it out, and you couldn't. This is a weird one for me because I think it's very heavy. The public is very heavy on the Commanders right now, understandably
Hmm.
so. I'm gonna ride with him here. I think if he can be an ounce of that the player he's been, they're gonna be fine out there. What I've loved about the is it Cliff Kingsbury led offense, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
how diverse it's been, right? It's never depending on too much on one person. It's really spreading it
Hmm.
out, and then of course letting guys like Scary Terry just cook, right? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
His ability to drop back in the pocket, to scramble, like this dude could do it all. Jane Daniels is that dude. I'm kind of kicking myself for not picking him, right? In fantasy. It's kind of
Yeah.
these things are always easier once you're a couple of weeks into the season. But holy
Yeah.
shit.
It is.
Um, yeah, one of my shout out Lewis, my god brother too. This man was all of his leagues. He drafted Jaden Daniels as his backup, and he was telling me like, "Hey, make sure you get this guy." And now, literally every time we talk about the Commanders, all he writes me back is all of my leagues in all caps. So shout out my
That
guy
could come
Lewis.
back and bite you real good though. You get
Oh
the
yeah,
same player in every league. Oh my god. I had
that
that
is very
happen.
true.
I had that happen with I think what was it Travis Kelsey, I think, a couple years ago. It was either him or Tyreek Hill. And I had him in multiple leagues and that didn't end up well too well that year. I I agree with you. I think the commanders look amazing. Um I want to take a different approach though. I want to shout out Brian Johnson, bro. I apologize because he was our offensive coordinator last year, and he got a lot of the blame for how the offense looked last year. Um, this just goes to show you it does not matter which coordinator is in Philly under Nick Sirianni. Sirianni is the one that's going to be calling the plays. You see how the Commanders are playing this year with Jaden Daniels versus how the Eagles played last year with Jalen Hurts, with Brian, I mean, not Brian Flores, Brian Johnson as a
Mhm.
coordinator. Do you not see the difference in the two? There's a lot of motion and all this other stuff, and it looks like you're able to spread, like you said, you're spreading to different players. It's not just on one person. It's the run game. It's a balanced game. It's a very balanced game. Um, and you're not getting that with Philly. So shout out to Brian Johnson. I apologize. As loud as I was of a critic last year, I apologize because my God, my God, they are killing it. They look great, and I was high on the Commanders this year, um, coming in, not knowing how they were going to do record wise, but I loved the pieces that I was seeing that they were getting. It's they're doing a lot better than I thought they would. So yeah, shout out to
We
Brian
still need
Johnson.
to
I think
find out if they could stop anyone. Like that's the
say
real
again.
issues. I said we still need to find out if they could stop anyone for consistent
Yeah, yeah,
amounts
yeah,
of
yeah,
time. Like that's the
yeah,
real issue.
yeah,
But they're gonna be
yeah.
hard to keep up with, right? Like
Yes,
they
yes,
are the Nate Diaz and the Nick
yeah,
Diaz of the NFL, right? It's like come run
yeah,
with me. Let's see
yeah,
how long. Let's see how long you can last.
yeah, yeah. So no, I love them in this game. I think they're definitely gonna have their way with the Browns. Yeah, give me the Commanders.
Hey, just like when you have Taco Bell, your way would be had with the Browns. Next up, we've got the Patriots
That
squaring
is
off against
poetic,
the
man.
Dolphins in New England, of course. Divisional game here. This is a real tough one because of all the
Yes.
different factors that we have going on. And I'm just gonna fucking do it, right? Give me
Yeah.
Miami on the road. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
take a lot for them to muster a victory here, but I think the Patriots have realized that actually we ain't trying to be good this year. We are
Yeah.
not trying to do it that way. Let's take
Yeah.
our time here, ladies and gentlemen. And the Dolphins are begging, right, to be in a good position. Obviously, winning the one game that they won with a go-ahead field goal, and now looking to to try to get their first lead of the 2024-25 NFL season, which is an
Yeah.
insane stat for a team that
Yeah.
has a win nonetheless. This team has looked bad, and obviously it sucks to not have Tua out there. We've seen all the different iterations of this now, right? We've gotten a lot of different people. Shout out Tyler Huntley out there trying to do his damn thing too, and making the Titans defense look like absolute fucking marauders out there. It's gonna take a lot for the Patriots to allow this to happen, right? I think this is not an easy game for the Dolphins to win. If anything, I probably am going to look dumb because the Patriots should clear at home. I just feel like this is one of those will over skill games. And I think the
Hmm.
Dolphins need this way more than the Pats do. So give me the Dolphins on the road.
Are they going to continue with Huntley this week? Because that's my biggest question with this one. I
Are they
like
going to get Russell Wilson? The
I think
world never
yeah, like
knows.
it's like I read a report that Tua is symptom free, which is a good thing. But
Whatever that fucking means.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to go with the Dolphins. I'm gonna go with them as well because I think you have to get something. But I feel like this is gonna be one of those games. Christian Gonzalez is just he's just gonna go crazy, man. I like they should win this game. They should. They
I
should.
love how everyone knows our best kiss kept secret now though. Like every broadcast with the Patriots, they're throwing up
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez graphics and I'm like, God damn it. Like this was our guy. This is our pride and joy.
Yeah.
But now everyone's on to him, god damn it. But I agree. He's always gonna eat out there, and especially in these matchups, right? They need to be free. But
Yes. Yes.
good luck, guys. Good luck. Next up,
Yeah.
we've got the Colts on the road in what should be London, but is in all actuality Jacksonville, going up against the Jaguars. I'll let you take the reins on this one because this is a strange game, Derek.
This is very strange. I really don't know how to go about this. This one is almost like the flip of the coin as to who's going to win this one. I'm gonna go with the Colts on this because I don't think Jacksonville knows what they're doing. I really feel like there's something that's just missing. There's like some I don't know if it's an identity thing. It is, but it's also one of these things where like they're just their talent on paper is not matching the talent on field. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know this Doug Peterson. If he's able to get out of this season without getting fired, that's a miracle. That's going to be one massive miracle. I can't choose. I can't choose them. Flacco is going to have a very fun time out there.
Shout out to the Joe Flacco led Colts, right? Going out there and just making the receivers look like actual great prospects,
Receivers,
right? Shout out to
yeah,
Josh Downs on my fantasy team, another guy that I got with a low grade pick that's
yeah,
looking great for my future. Um,
yeah.
I love that Flacco's in this spot because I think A Rich has a lot to learn from him. Are those lessons gonna set in? Probably not this year. Probably not this year.
Bro,
Probably not next year. How do we feel about A Rich, the quarterback prospect?
this is the question I asked you I think a week or two ago
Mhm.
about replacing him because I don't there's something like you can see the talent is there as a thrower. Like he can throw, he has power in his arm, but he's just not he's not accurate, bro. Like
Mhm.
he's not an accurate passer. Like
Or consistent.
or consistent. And is something I put it to you like this. I think in the day and age that we're in right now, because of social media, I don't think that there's much grace with developmental talent, right? So he remind me, correct me if I'm wrong. He was injured his rookie year, right? Like he played a little bit, but then he got injured early
Yep.
on and was out. So this is his second year in the league, correct?
Mhm.
So there should be a grace period with him for sure. And I'm not saying you give up on him right now. However, it's starting to look like it, bro. Cuz how does Flacco come in and end up making these guys look as great as he does and he's not as nearly mobile
Mhm.
as
Against the
Richardson is?
Steelers too.
Bro, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't exercise some patience, but at the same time, if he's not going to correct a lot of these mistakes, if he's not going to alter his game to be what he needs to be, I don't see him being the starter for next season, bro.
Mhm.
I don't see it.
Uh,
I don't get the argument for it.
I feel like his issue too is he's constantly like his instinct is to go out there and be a football player and to not go out
Yes,
there and be a
yes.
quarterback. And it
Yeah,
works out for a lot of players in his position.
yeah.
But you have to have once again that the ability to be a quarterback. Like I feel like that was Lamar Jackson's true development because I thought there was a lot of
Mhm.
this early on in his career too. But even though
Mhm.
I would say he's always been a better passer, no disrespect,
Yes.
but
Yes.
um, just knowing when to change that gear, right? Instead of
Yeah.
that being your default. Like I feel like there's a lot of opportunities where he isn't necessarily being pressured. And he still sees these holes, and don't get me wrong, they're there, right?
Yeah.
They're there. But like even the second time he left this game, like you already left this game with the injury once because of
Yeah.
you making the similar play. And then this is also play calling too. But
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would
yeah.
go
Yeah.
right to a fucking QB handoff basically, and this man's going off to the sideline, just gets wrecked again.
Yeah.
Um, to me, the instincts issue I see with him is more so just the anticipation with his throws. Like he puts the ball
Mhm.
behind a lot of guys often, and I feel like
Mhm.
that's just because he's rushing a lot. Like he's
Yeah.
constantly like, all right, well, I have all this juice, right? It's like the knockout puncher, right? They have the
Mhm.
punch, so they just know, I just need to land it, and they
Yeah.
overextend themselves trying to go out there and get it. I obviously grace is needed. I think it will be given to him specifically. I think it sucks too because the fan base is screaming to move on from him already, and to
Yeah.
me, I think it's not fair. I
Yeah.
think he's shown enough that you can respect and look forward to what he has to offer, but Um, let's just be real, man. Uh, Quarterbacks get different treatment. And I just
Yes,
hope he
yes.
doesn't get thrown by the wayside before he really gets to figure this out because he's still a very young player.
Mhm.
But I agree, man. I think if you are a Colts fan, you're shaking a little, right? Because you're not
Yeah.
sure if this investment's going to pay off.
Yeah, and again, at least he's on his rookie contract, so it's not like one of those moves that really like messes you up for the future. However, you got to maximize your roster. On paper, they have a lot of nice pieces. So in order to maximize who you have there, you have to put a player in position to get them to do what they needed to do. Is that player right now Joe Flacco? Do you think that's the case?
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you got to like they have to figure this out because
Yeah.
there's something that's going on that just doesn't make any sense, and I think Richardson can figure it out. It's not a matter of his ability; it's a matter of is he going to do it or not. And if you're not playing the way like this, his situation is similar to Tua's. Like if you're not adjusting the way that you play to um to help you out in these different situations, you're hurting yourself, bro. Like at the end of the day, we can blame the franchise all we want. You're not putting in the work to do what it takes to make sure you're okay. You don't have to always save the day. Like save yourself. It's like that old adage, like you can't save others without saving yourself. So you like in a plane, like you have to put the mask on yourself before you can help anyone else put a mask on themselves, right? And so it's the same thing. Help yourself because if you keep messing yourself up, you're going to mess everyone else up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do his best. You got to do his best, and he
Hey,
has to correct his gameplay.
in sports and in life. And shout out to the gameplay, right? You love to see
Yeah,
that, right? We'll make it into fucking video games too, right? Not spend your
yeah.
VC in the right place, a rich, god damn it.
always try to put it on shooting, but you don't have any defense.
Oh yeah, just getting
Come
absolutely
on,
torched out there.
come on, bro. You can't do that. You don't have any perimeter pressure at all. You just pin all your VC on shooting ability.
Or you could do
That'll get
my
you.
favorite. Shout out to Jalen Green, someone that I love to talk about on this show. But there was a picture of him going viral, right? Because they were showing him at media day the first 4 years of his career. Crazy that he's been in
Yeah,
the league for that
that's
long already
crazy.
too. Yeah, we're old fucks. But
God dang.
they were showing those pictures side by side, and they were like, "Damn, how he hasn't gained any muscular definition in his time in the league." And then someone commented, they was like, "He spent all his VC on tattoos." And you know what? They are not wrong,
Yeah,
bro.
ain't not wrong, man.
But anyway, we
Yeah.
have digressed far enough. We're back on the
Yes,
right
sir.
train. The Jags fucking suck, and there's no way they're winning again this week. So I
At
agree with
all.
you. I'm going with the Colts again. They look better against the Texans, though. I think they are
Yeah.
figuring something out. But
Yeah.
whether or not that's enough here, I don't think it will be.
Nope.
Next up, we got the Bills, who just got absolutely ran on and ran over by my
Bro.
Baltimore Ravens on the road going up against the Houston Texans. I got this one
Yes, sir.
bolded and big because this is going to be probably our game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This is an
Yeah.
awesome matchup, which should lead to fireworks. So it's only right. I throw it to the Podfathers for some knowledge. Who you got
Mm.
and why?
Texans are at home, right?
Yes, sir.
They tend to play a little bit better at home, and I think there's a little added motivation. Like Diggs is going against his old team. I think there's motivation there. Um, I'm going to choose them. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose, but I'm gonna go with the Texans on this one. I think that they get it. Um, Defensively, I I want to see them again in this. This is definitely gonna be the game that I watch. Like I have no. I'm not missing this game. But the thing that I kind of want to see is how they do defensively against Josh Allen, because overall this season Allen has looked really good. Despite Diggs being gone, despite Gabe Davis leaving, they do look really good. So I want to see how they handle that. Like how are you gonna handle getting to him with the pressure and stuff like that? That's what I want to see. I think they'll be able to deliver. I think the Texans will get this one. So I'm going with the Texans going with the home team.
It's a tough one, man. I think we definitely made the Bills look a lot more human than they are. I think they're a much better
Yeah,
team than
yeah,
they looked against us. I think the perfect storm of us starting early, but also being able to back it up defensively is what really helped us keep that big lead. Um, but even they almost made a run on us there, and I was fucking losing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But yeah, man, the Texans are special. We already went over this many times, offensively and defensively. I think obviously their secondary has a little to answer questions to. I
yes.
think there's a lot of people that will take that personally, but I think that's been
Hmm.
their Achilles heel at the moment. Um, but yeah, man, it's hard for me to see. Honestly, it was hard for me to see the Josh Allen, "Oh, yeah, actually, he's just cooking," storyline here. Like, I get it. Like, don't get me wrong, he's looked really great through the first 3, but also consider the competition. Like, I'm a Cardinals guy too. I was high on them too, but that's
Yeah,
probably the
yeah,
best team they faced in that stretch.
yeah,
And they're 1-3 right now. So matchups are everything, and I think that's the key
yes,
here. I think the Texans are going to make the Bills look bad again. I don't think it's going to be necessarily because the Bills aren't good. I
yeah,
just think they're definitely a tier below the two teams we just mentioned, right? So
yes,
give me that
yes.
one. It's only right, though, that we move on and we segue to. You said that was the game you were going to be watching. There's no doubt what game I'm going to be watching because it's coming up next, baby. We got the Ravens on the
Yes.
road against the Bengals, the 1-3 pussy cats, I like to call them. Um, it's so funny because for so many years, bro, this game didn't mean shit to me. Like out of
Yeah,
out of our division, this game right here, it never meant
yeah,
anything. And now it means a lot, right? To be able to put these guys down to 1-4, all things considered. I'm not gonna lie, historically, it's been a battle, right? It hasn't been
yes,
easy sailing against this Cincinnati team, but every iteration is different. And I think our iteration of the team is equipped to really gash up this Cincinnati defense. I think their defense
yeah.
has a lot of holes this year, and I think especially our ability to change gears with the run and slash them and then pass them. I
That was
think I
nuts.
think these guys are different, bro, and I think
Yeah,
this is going to be a really come out party for my Ravens. I think this is solidifying it. Those first 2 weeks, sometimes you slip on a banana peel and you could get caught up, done up by anybody in this league. God damn it. I'm looking
yeah.
at you, the Raiders, after you got destroyed by the Panthers, made fucking Andy Dalton look like Matt Bonner out there, just a red rocket firing from 3-point range. But yeah, man, I'm real confident in my Ravens here, so much so um that I'm gonna be putting a little wager on this
Oh,
game. So
nice, nice.
I'm going money line as well as it's only right to go back to the well. I'm going money line and I'm going Zay motherfucking Flowers anytime touchdown. It didn't hit for me last week, but it's gonna hit for me this week. So there's
Yes.
my knowledge. Let's go Ravens, baby.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm not big on the Bengals defensively either. I think the Ravens are just a really special team. I think again when you're talking about beginning of the season, Dwayne said it when he came on the first episode. Like it takes some time to be able to get everything clicking, all cylinders clicking, right? Um, I think you guys are proving that, and I'm excited to see how this goes fantasy wise. I think what's his name? Derrick Henry Oh my god. My god. I think y'all figured it out, bro. I think it was just trying to, get an understanding of how, everything would go in the offense for him. And I mean, y'all figured it out. Y'all figured it out 2 weeks ago. So I don't see how it would stop here, you know. Give me the Ravens. I'm not even talking about the Bengals.
Let's fucking go. Fuck you, Snow Bunny Burrow. We'll move
Much
on.
love, Logic.
Yeah. I'm sorry, bro.
Sorry,
Sorry
bro.
we had to do it to you, bro. Somebody had to do it though. Next up, we got the Raiders on the road against the Broncos. We in Mile High for the mid off of the week, ladies and gentlemen. No
Mm,
Devonte Adams because he's still trying to get traded. He's still playing my career out
yeah.
there, just begging the GM, get me out of here, please. I don't care where I go.
Yeah.
This game fucking absolutely sucks. And every
Yes.
iteration of the Broncos this season has been trash. They've brought out the worst in their enemies and made
Yeah.
them look bad simultaneously. And obviously their one win against the Bucks, they look fucking dominant. But besides that, this team has looked pedestrian at best.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm hogging everything here, Derek. So I'm gonna give you the rest of the night, god damn it. But give me the Broncos at home because both these teams suck, and at some point, this team has to replicate success. So give me the Broncos.
Yeah. Bro,
It's so hard, right? No
this is
pause. This is
difficult, man.
difficult.
Because yeah, give me the Broncos as well. I think one of the players that I think defensively that's not there is Mike Epps, who was one of the biggest players I think at safety for them last year. He's out for the rest of the season, so that's not gonna he ain't coming back. Um, Crosby's gonna have to put his all on his shoulders, bro, and I question how that's gonna go.
Mhm.
Um, give me the Broncos. I don't feel great about it, but if the Raiders actually trade Devontae Adams, where do you see him going? And two-parter. And does that signal Crosby's exit?
Bro, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if they're like I'm having Swiss cheese brain. Who the fuck is Max Crosby? He's
Yeah,
also injured too, though. No, isn't he also injured right now?
I don't think
He's
he is.
coming off of an injury at the very least. I thought he didn't play last week.
I don't know. I didn't watch
Either
that
way,
game last week.
nobody did. Trust me, nobody did. Um, yeah, man, that's a good point though. Yeah, it's kind of like fire sale or not, right? My thing
Yeah.
is everyone's pointing at Kansas City. How the fuck does Kansas City make that deal happen? Like, there's
I
no way. There's
there's
no
they have no
assets.
space unless they decide to move on from Kelsey or someone or even Chris Jones. I
Yeah,
don't
nah, it's
see
not
how
happening.
you make that happen. I really don't.
Mhm.
And that would be a shocker right there. I know they need the help.
Yeah,
They need the help bad.
definitely need it. I'm trying to think of
But
who else would even be a suitor right now. Like, I don't have an easy answer. Maybe Dallas, right? If they could figure out how to make that work, I think that's a very Dallas
they,
move.
they can't. If you couldn't pay Derrick Henry,
Yeah,
how the hell you gonna pay Devontae Adams, bro? How you gonna
gonna
make
have to
that work?
unload some guys
Yeah,
off. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't see them moving on from the guys they need to move on to make that happen. So, nah, I can't
Do
see
you
that
have a
either.
suitor? Do you have someone that sticks out to you?
I mean, the Jets are an obvious one, um, in terms of the connection with Rodgers. Do I see that happening? I think that's another question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what their cap situation looks like. I could see them possibly if there is a trade, I could see them possibly trading Hassan Reddick for Crosby,
Wow.
something like that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't see. I don't know
Bro,
that I can really
Hassan Reddick
see.
for Devontae Adams would move mountains, bro. That would
Oh no,
be
no, no, no. I mean, yeah, that would, but I almost see it like the Jets would try to get Crosby instead of Adams.
Wow, just a head-to-head scenario because they'll be
Yeah,
willing to pay
because
Crosby. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, and then also you because I don't know what their cap situation looks like. I can't. So I don't. I would almost feel like Crosby would be like a better situation cap wise than Devontae right now. So I almost feel like Adams is stuck, bro. No lie, because I can't see this unless this would be crazy. If you decide to not pay Jamar Chase and trade him to the Raiders for Adams, and you're willing to pay him.
I would love that. I would love
That would
that.
be insane. That would be insane. That's the makeup for you there, Logic.
Oh, no, he hates us even more after you said that, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right on that. I think he just might be stuck unless he's gonna end up somewhere like fucking Carolina. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
mean, he can always come to Philly if he wants. He
Hey,
just
Bryce
can't have
Young,
that contract.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Get yourself a Bryce Young. Yeah, I heard he's
yeah,
cheap
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
Oh my god. Why are we
I don't
still
know.
talking about this game? Who you got? Yeah, Broncos. We're moving on.
Yeah,
Let's fucking
Broncos.
do it.
Yeah,
Another divisional matchup here. We've got the Cardinals on the road against the 49ers. We know who I'm going with after my big transaction. So lead the dance, Derek. Who you got?
man, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Niners on this one. Um, I don't. Something about me. I said this to you a couple weeks ago. I still don't trust the Cardinals, and I don't see that trust developing here this week on the road. So give me the Niners. I'm a rock with them. I think they can possibly pull it off. I know that's not gonna be a hard matchup anyway. You got Debo Samuel that's back now, so
Hmm.
um,
Hopefully, the ghost
I
of
go.
Brendan Ayuk shows up as well.
Yeah. That's another situation. But yeah, give me the 49ers in this one.
It's like these situations write themselves almost, right? It's almost like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's weird. It's
hey,
weird.
shout out to Chris Jones. He said the same thing. He like, hey, I should have never held out because I fucking sucked when I got back. I mean, it makes sense, right? You only get better at
Yeah.
things by doing them. Give me the Niners as well. And hopefully I get better at this picking shit too, because goddamn, I fucking need it. But next up, we got the Giants on the road against the 12th man. We got the
Yeah.
Seahawks doing the damn thing after losing tragically on Monday Night Football, but looking fucking awesome while doing it. I thought,
Yeah.
obviously not defensively, but offensively. I just gotta say, before I toss to you, um,
Mhm.
did you see the fucking absolute insanity that was that Kenneth Walker play for the first down? Please tell me you know what I'm talking about right now.
I did not see it.
Oh
No.
my god.
No,
So
I had to
this
go to bed,
man
bro.
got dragged down. I feel you. I don't blame you. Got dragged down by a linebacker. The linebacker, as he like spun and pulled him to the ground, pulled him
Mm.
onto himself. Kenneth Walker posts on the turf and does a backflip over the body of this tackling defender
Get
and is not ruled down.
get
So
out of here.
so it looked like he was swim down to the ground, rolled over on one side, posted, rolled back the other way, and then got the first down. Fucking amazing. Please look that play up
That's
and
crazy.
watch that later. One of the
I
most
will watch that.
insane displays of athleticism, right? Just stopping and starting like that.
Yeah.
Insane. And it's kind of hard to articulate. So I know if you're confused, it's okay, bro.
No, I
It's a
got you.
little bit of
I
a
can
tricky
picture
one,
it.
but goddamn, this guy's look like the fucking inflatable man out there, just throwing his body whichever way he needed to get the first down. Um, I think this one it should be easy to pick. Who you got? Seahawks at home or the Giants?
I'm going to Seahawks, man. They just picked up 42-year-old Jason Peters on the practice squad. So you know I gotta go with them.
Wow, yep.
I'm good.
Simultaneous, seamless, right? Shout out Jason Peters. Um, how the fuck is that man still playing? That
I
man
don't know,
must
man.
have the Swiss cheese up here as well. Because holy shit, that's not an easy
He's
position to play either. Uh,
he's got something on these owners, bro. He's holding something over their heads
it
because
must be. It must be.
there is no way this man is still getting hired. And I love to see a black man get paid, but come on, bro.
How?
How the hell
Explain.
are you doing this? I need like you need I need Peters to do a TED talk.
Hey,
I need to see it
and
because
we're all here.
I want to know the secret.
We're all here for representation. I love to see a fat man get paid too. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
How about that? I got the Seahawks too, baby. That's all we need to know. I mean, Malik Neighbors is out as well. That tells us
Yes,
everything we need to
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Imagine this team with Saquon. R.I.P. Right? R.I.P. The
It
tears
is
on
what it
this
is
fan.
now.
It is what it is now. We got the Packers on the road against the L.A. Rams. How you feeling, Derek? Because I don't know. This one doesn't
I
sit
don't know
right with
either.
me.
It doesn't. I'm so confused on this one. Um, I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one.
Free Malik Willis.
Huh?
I said free Malik Willis. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one. I don't feel good about this game either way, to be honest. So give me the Packers, but I can see this one going their way, but
Look, I
I
think
think
this.
it'll be a close game.
Sorry about that. I think this is a
Yeah,
trap game of all trap
yeah,
games. On the
yeah,
road, didn't look too good at the beginning of the start. Obviously, pulled it together towards the second half of that game against a
yeah,
team that looks. It's hard to look good against these days in the Vikings.
yeah.
Um, I think that a lot of the same is to be said about this Rams team too. I think they figured out a lot with their front three, and they're rushing really, really well with their rookie pass rush tandem.
Yeah.
Um, I like this team because they could go actually just let those guys cook and drop back in coverage. Like it gives them a lot of different options that they didn't have even on their Super Bowl run.
Mhm.
Obviously, it sucks that they're so injured right now,
Yes, yes.
which is probably the biggest X factor in this matchup here that has me leaning towards the Packers. I want to just let the nuts hang and go with the Rams, but I'm also going to pick the Packers here. I think they have a little bit of a better platform to build off of from last week. But I won't be surprised if the Rams just take momentum early and don't let go. God damn it. But can't pick a team that just lost to the fucking Bears. Next up,
Yeah.
we got the Cowboys and the Steelers. Another game that promises on
Mm,
Sunday Night Football to just be absolutely horrible, ladies and gentlemen.
mm.
Um, I'm gonna go with Dallas because I think the Steelers aren't as good as they look. But god damn it, man. God damn it.
Bro,
Dallas, don't Dallas your way out of this one. Because this is a game you should win.
I'm going the complete opposite. I'm going the Steelers. Because Dallas doesn't look anywhere near where they should be. They don't look like a team that's got it together. And I'm one to speak, right? But they really don't look like they got it together.
And they don't got a bye week.
And they don't have a bye week. I think that the Cowboys defensively are hurt. They're hurt. Michael Parsons is out, and Lawrence is now on IR. So if that was the best that your team was doing was on the defensive side, offensively they haven't been able to move much at all this year. Like it's, you know what? It looks like they would have benefited from a Derrick Henry, but far be it from me to. I mean, I don't know.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, yeah. Who'd have thought that would have actually been a good idea to have him, or hey, maybe keep Amari Cooper, in the building as well. I don't know. I think this team is just trash, bro. I think they're trash. The Steelers, I know, last week was last week, but to be completely honest, they've overall they've looked much better. I feel like I could actually trust them. I can't trust the Cowboys. Not to win. I can trust the Cowboys to be the Cowboys. I could trust the Cowboys to be trash. I can trust him to do that. I can't trust him to win games, not meaningful games. I can't trust him to do
Wow.
that. Nah. And this is Sunday night game too.
Yeah,
The brighter the lights, the more they cower. I can't trust him. I
dude, I
can't
like
trust
it.
him.
I like it. Shout out to Justin Fields too, looking like an absolute dog out there, man. I know DJ Moore misses his guy. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
Cause man, this
yeah,
this guy, if they take away this starting job from Justin Fields, it'll be an absolute fucking tragedy. Cause regardless of if he is quote unquote the best guy, I think he is growing into a role with this team that has been really impressive to see, not just with his legs, but with his arm, man. This guy
yeah,
is making plays consistently, even if it doesn't necessarily lead to putting up big points on the board.
yeah. And I mean, you saw flashes of it in Chicago too, right? I like that's the reason why I was on the bandwagon. Start him. He's the more athletic. He's the younger one. Like it
You
made
got him for a
sense.
bag of pennies? Like,
Yeah,
why the fuck
why
not?
not? Like trade
Yeah.
Russell Wilson as soon as you can. Go get another backup. Just
Yeah. He's cheap too, right? Because he got paid by Denver.
yes,
He's cheap as hell
yes.
too.
You're not paying much on your quarterback position, so go, bro. I'm be honest, man. I would look at it. I would look at it. If I'm Pittsburgh, I would try and go get Max Crosby.
That'll be fucking unfair.
That would
Why not
be.
Devontae?
I mean, Devontae too.
Why not?
Like
That'll be
no,
great
no,
too.
See, but I think Devontae would be a great addition to the team.
I
But
would hate that though.
I mean, yeah, yeah. But defense wins championships, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I'm looking at it. Like
And they're already so dominant,
they're
man, on that
already
side.
dominant, but why not be the steel curtain again? Why not have that identity? I would make the move, man. I'd
They
make the
need a
move.
white man smoking Black and Miles in the fucking locker room. They need that shit.
Yeah, yeah. You get him with TJ Watt, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing more Pittsburgh than that. Right?
Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah. So
Fucking love it, man. We got our final game of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Week 5
yes, sir.
finishes. It comes to a climax with the Saints on the road going up against the Chiefs, right? The Kansas City Chiefs, the Chieftains.
Yeah.
Um, I love this game because I get to pick against the motherfucking Chiefs. I'm going with the Saints here, ladies and gentlemen. I think these Patty Mahomes led Chiefs have been winning despite bleeding, right? Just bleeding all over their opposition. And I don't think they're going to be able to hold those wounds much longer. I think their offensive play really, the lack of their offensive play really showed up in their last game, despite being able to pull it off against the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think this is a different kind of test, right? Don't get me wrong. The Saints have also shown that in some games they won't show up offensively. And
Yeah.
we need the 30-point Saints to show up to have a chance here. I just feel like the defense isn't in the position to carry like it was last season,
Hmm.
and their offense falling apart at this stage so early
Yeah.
is a real sign of concern, in my opinion. I think although they're still at home in this one, the Saints have not been easy to play against, no matter who they're up against, especially defensively. And I
Yeah.
think being able to make those guys work on that end and work for those possessions, the faster we could get them off the field and get the fucking ball, the better. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, this isn't going to be an easy game. Like I think the Chiefs are the favorite for a reason, and I'm pretty sure if they win, I'm not going to feel too bad about it because hey, it's the fucking Chiefs, right? It is what it
Yeah.
is. Um,
Yeah.
but just don't let this come down to a last second drive, ladies and gentlemen. Just do your best to be up 2 scores. Um,
Yeah.
because if that's the case, we all
Yeah.
know who's winning.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Give me the Saints on this one. I think there's nobody for Mahomes to really throw to, bro. Like, there's no one to really throw to. Like, You got Worthy, you got Kelsey, but like they're going to be all over these guys all game. And
You
if anyone
forgot
can
the
figure it out,
strongest rusher of them all, bro. Are you serious right now?
who
Taylor
Steele?
Swift is out there
Oh,
catching passes for this
I
team. Did you
forgot.
forget?
I completely forgot, bro. The Swifties are there for a reason. They're gonna move that ball.
Have you seen those animations of Taylor Swift getting carries against the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of them, man. I need them broken up. For the sake of the game, I need Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey to
Man
break
said
up.
for the culture. Get him
Yes.
out of here.
Let's get him with a black woman again and make America great again. How about that?
Wow. Don't ever say that shit again, brother. Don't ever say that shit again. Oh
I'm
man.
tired of seeing this, bro. I'm tired of seeing this. I can't.
Being
I
force
don't even
fed.
like watching. I don't like watching Chiefs games anymore.
Wow.
Like it's annoying. It really is highly annoying. I can't fathom this being a thing. I thought we were done with it last season.
Yeah.
I was hoping, one year, and it's like, okay, oh, it's cute, and then we'll do away with it.
Oh, it's cute. The happiest thing about this though, the biggest happy accident of all is that we're not getting the Jackson Mahomes spotlight no more, right? We're not getting that
Bro,
cutaway
I ain't
any
gonna lie.
longer.
I ain't gonna lie. I would prefer the TikToks over Swift at this point.
Wow. You know who I
I
feel bad
prefer
for out of everyone?
who?
I feel bad for Pat Mahomes' dad. Because that's the only real motherfucker in these scenarios. And this motherfucker is being forced around all types of skullduggery, bro. I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there.
Hey, well, put it to you like this: if
Listen, if
if
I
you
had a
put him
sound
in
drop, we
different
need to get a
situations.
soundboard. I need the fucking Dr. Umar. Dong. I need that
Yes,
right now. I need
yes, yes,
dong. I need that
yes.
shit. The Undertaker gong, bro. I need that shit.
I mean, look, like Dr. Umar would say, stop bunny hopping. If you stop bunny hopping, this stuff wouldn't happen, bro.
He is going to create Snow Bunnies Anonymous, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you addicted men out there. We have the
Yeah.
cure. Fucking love Dr. Umar, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because all it takes is a little white guilt, right? Yeah, all right. Well, we'll move on. We can't keep dropping the Umarisms, right? Because we'll be here all night.
Oh
Shout out to the
man.
coon chip.
Yeah.
But Saints,
Yeah,
the
man.
Saints it is,
I'm going
baby. They
Saints.
marching in.
I'm
Shout
going
out
Saints.
the
Yeah.
Tyron Matthew get
How
back
many
game,
interceptions do you
right?
think he gets?
I'm gonna keep it calm at one, right? Because you don't
I'm gonna go
you don't
one as well.
expect lightning to strike twice. But yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be awesome if he does get a pick in the get back
Yeah.
game.
I think he will. I think he will. I think because I think Mahomes is sitting at 5 picks this season.
Hmm. And it's week 5.
Um, and
More
it's
than
week
one a week.
5. So like he's I think he's in the top 3 of interceptions this year. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's around maybe like 2.
Nobody's panicking
So
though.
no one's panicking for him, but everyone wants to, run out and,
Hey, there's
and
a lot.
go
There's
to the
been a lot
draft
of
boards.
turnovers. I will say
Everybody wants to go to the draft boards for Jalen Hurts.
that's
Let me
true.
just say this: Hurts and Mahomes, very similar numbers this year.
Wow.
Very similar numbers. If I'm not mistaken, Hurts is just a little bit better this year. So I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be okay with Mahomes, you gotta be okay with Hurts. That's all. That's all. I mean, I know one's got championships and the other one doesn't yet, but let's keep calm.
Yeah, let's keep it in perspective here, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah,
Thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us for another week.
definitely,
This was fun as hell, man, and it only
most
gets
definitely.
funner. So make
Yes,
sure
sir.
you're locked in on all of the stuff we have going at OTS Media Co. on all social media platforms, OTS Media on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't you ever forget that if you have an issue, you can get it fixed. And my guy has the solution, right? Stay away from the snow. I'm looking at you, Joe Burrow. We'll see you guys next week for week 6. Peace.